Good morning, guys. For those of you who would like to boost your immune system, like I'm doing, go to Alaska Chaga, click in the description box, click on that link, and find out why millions of people drink Chaga tea every day. And remember, you get 10% off and free freight. And then for those of you who would like to help the veterans, go to Hero Soap Company. They're owned by vets, and they give part of their profits to veterans dead on their luck. And then for those of you who would like to learn more about CBD products, go to martinbrodellcbd.com. They have a new product coming out here pretty soon. And for those of you who would like to sell CBD products, you've lost your job or you just like to take your life into another direction, give me a holler. My email is in the description box, and I will send you the name and the phone number of the person to get a hold of. And you can work within a great company. Let's go ahead and dig into some of the news here. First up, Hunter Biden, Judge Janine. Hunter Biden has crawled out from underneath whatever rock he's been hiding under in order to sell his new book. And trust me, this book wasn't something Hunter just decided to do on a whim. This is total PR cleanup. The Biden handlers are trying to gain control over the crackhead messaging about after the porn videos, pictures, and text messages from Hunter's laptop. They're trying to change the narrative and turn Hunter into a victim who fought against the odds and came out on top. An all-American recovery and comeback story. I was in PR, and this is a total spin job, and it's working to a certain extent because they have the media to back up their messaging. And that's why it's so important that we combat this phony spin job. And that's exactly what Judge Janine is doing. Judge Janine sees what's going on here. Like the rest of us, Hunter is not a victim. He's a predator. So Judge Janine tore into Hunter and our corrupt media for covering up for him. This man should be in jail, not running around taunting or touting a book. And the frustrating part in all of this Hunter stuff is that our media actually did their job and reported on him. He'd be facing justice for the first time in his miserable life. But they won't. Everything stays buried. And that really shows how much power our media still has. No, it's not just the media, because the fact is, the truth is, we here on the internet, we have more viewers than they do. The fact of the matter is that they still control enough judges, enough courtrooms, and that's why, and along with the media, they still control enough to get away with this stupid crap. Moving on to, and then the funny thing about patents is, and here you have the patents on AIDS, H1N1, Ebola, swine flu, BSE, Zika, SARS, coronavirus. As I say down here, the funny thing about patents is that this means that it must be man-made, not biological. Also meaning that these diseases were made specifically for one purpose: depopulation. Exactly. And then Florida is throwing the tea in the harbor by denying vaccine passports and nullifying all the pandemic tyranny rules of the Marxist DC Democrats. DeSantis and the others, they are not going along with any of this crap. And then property records reveal that self-described Marxist BLM co-founder Patrice Kahn Cullors recently went on a real estate binge, bought 4 houses for a total of $3.2 million. I mean, personally, I think it's going to really come back to bite her big time. And people are ticked. It says, according to property records obtained by the New York Post, Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors recently went on a multi-million-dollar real estate binge, buying 4 houses in the U.S. for $3.2 million. And then the Post also reports that Cullors recently eyed $1 million property in the Bahamas. The Bahamas, mama, yeah. I tell you what, it will come back. It will come back to bite her, I do believe. People are angry, especially the supporters of BLM. And then we must not be bystanders to the anti-Semitism of Omar in the Foreign Affairs Committee. You know something? People are they're waking up more and more all the time, and they're seeing all of these people for who and what they really are. Lobbyists for dictator accused of cannibalism in line for key Biden administration post. Yeah, a lobbyist who once represented the brutal regime in the Equatorial Guinea, whose dictator Teodoro Ngima has been accused of eating his political rivals, is in line for a position in the Biden administration State Department. What people are going to find out, and they are finding out, is that these people that surround Biden and Biden himself, they're all involved in pedophilia, child sacrificing, cannibalism, all of that stuff. They may not be involved in all of it, but they partake in one or more of those things. And then Myanmar military slaughters more than 80 protesters in one city. Keep in mind that Soros is paying these protesters to do his dirty work and to try to overturn what the military has done. And but that's who's paying. That's who's getting these guys to do all this stuff. Soros has been ginning up hate and anger and war forever. Speaking of war, Putin threatens full-scale full-scale in Ukraine as U.S. sends 2 warships to the Black Sea. As we know, the deep state wants war. Now, Brenda and I, we heard on, I can't remember which channel it was, but they said the thing that Trump and them were waiting for, the military was waiting for, was some military conflict to step in. I don't know. We'll see. We're all wondering what it's going to take for them to step in. You know, and I don't have any answers for that one. Pentagon scientists invent microchip that detects and filters COVID-19 from your body. Interesting. Huh. It says Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, that's known as DARPA, develops chip to implant under the skin. You know something? I don't want any chip. I don't want to be chipped. No way, no how. Joe Biden begs federal employees to take paid leave to help border crossers. You know, you would think that with all the children, the child selling, all the human trafficking, that would be enough. But you know, to get the military to act. But no. And then China creates hotline to report citizens who criticize the state or misinterprets history. I tell you what, they got their finger on everybody. And then here's Fauci. He claims it's still not okay to eat or drink indoors, even if you've been vaccinated. You know, I'm not sure, but you know, I'm thinking that a lot of people are beginning to not listen to him. And then here's Liz Cheney. She says, "Don't you dare say the election was stolen." So Liz, what's in your closet? What have you got, Liz? What have you got in there? It must be something. It must be huge. And then Jonathan Turley blasts Twitter's censorship of BLM co-founder buying $1.4 million home. And let's see how much time I got left here. Got enough time. It says, so we've been bringing you the multi-layered saga of BLM co-founder Patrice Colliers and her buying of 4 different homes and looking perhaps to get another one in the Bahamas. Here was the New York Post visual take on it. And has a big picture of her. And then it says Marxist BLM founder racks up $1 million property empire with at least 4 homes. Black Lives Manors. MANORS. So now one would think that all is fair game. She's a public figure, open to comment, praise and criticism, just like any other public figure, or so you would think. But apparently, someone at Twitter didn't think so. George Washington law professor Jonathan Turley raised the alarm that Jason Whitlock apparently was censored by Twitter for tweeting about Colliers buying her $1.4 million Topanga Canyon mini compound. As they say here for Jason Whitlock, your account has been locked. How dare you? How dare you say anything bad about her? Wow. And you know, the more you try to keep stuff from people, the more they want to find out. And then Florida's Grim Reaper lawyer weighs in on Matt Gaetz and steps on his scythe in the process. So, it says, is this his normal mindset as a legal mind? It is fair, he says, to assume that in the land of the Florida man that there would be a legal equivalent for some time now. Daniel Alfelder has been making a name for himself, not a good name, by dressing up in a black robe and harvester's blade and strolling Florida beaches. He was sending a message to those daring to go out in public in the midst of a pandemic, melodramatically suggesting that sitting in a lounge chair 25 feet from people would lead to certain death. Oh my word. I tell you what. It says, so Florida lawyer has seen his message become neutered by a few realities, one being self-generated. The first is that Florida's COVID-related numbers continue to be impressive. This, despite all the promised disasters from the likes of Daniel. The other item to unravel Alfelder's insistence on social distancing has been Daniel Alfelder, Esquire, while he had been hectoring and lecturing crowds about their imminent death for commingling at the beach. There was Alfelder in his requisite I Can't Breathe t-shirt at a Black Lives Matter rally with a larger, tightly packed crowd of people. So, in other words, he, needless to say, he is showing everyone how hypocritical that he is, and it's not working well. And then retired ICE Special Agent Victor Avila. No rules are being followed on the border. No IDs needed to board flights, taking mostly young men to destinations around the U.S. It's worse than anybody imagined. And, you know, yeah, I mean, this is horrible, what we see going on. Absolutely horrible. And for the sake of these children, I would hope and pray that Trump and the military would step in and do it damn soon. Pope's Easter message, global governance, universal vaccines, ecological debt, inclusivity, no mention of Jesus Christ. That's because if you're a Satanist, you don't mention Jesus Christ. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to mention his name. And then Orwellian hell. Only the vaxxed get rescued from the Caribbean island after deadly volcanic eruption. You know, these politicians, what they did is they got together with corporate America and corporations around the world and other governments so that they don't have to do their own dirty work. They get these corporations to do their work for them in other governments and other countries. It's pretty sad what's going on. Anyway, I know it's frustrating. That's all for now. God bless you all. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, guys.